guys, welcome back to Damian. I'm back with a Dr. No Sleep video. I've either, I think, watched Dr. No Sleep like once or twice, or never. I really don't know. This could be the first time I'm watching Dr. No Sleep. I really don't know. And because I don't know, I'm going to look it up for you guys right now, because I don't know. Anyways, we have a suggestion today, which is Dr. No Sleep. This is why you never look through a stranger's windows. So, this is kind of like a Mr. Nightmare video. I have reacted to Dr. No Sleep twice. I was correct, but 4 years ago. Both of them were 4 years ago. So it's been a long time. July 9, 2020 and July 14, 2020. So very, very long ago. Literally been a couple years by now. So that's crazy that I've been doing YouTube for like so long too. It's been years and years that I've done YouTube, which is crazy. I'm only at 5,000 subscribers, whatever. Anyways, starting. I do have this suggestion. I'll put them on the screen. I'll probably put them on the screen a little bit before because now I'm stupid and I put the video up, so yeah. Anyways, this is why you never look through a stranger's windows, which I don't see why you would even want to do that, but I wouldn't want to do that. I mean, I do that all the time actually. I'm stupid. But like, I just do it like, for example, like when I walk by my neighbor's house or someone's house and then, you know, you just kind of like look around, they don't have blinds, and then you just then you see something inside, right? It's not like you're like, it's not like that. You just walk by and then you happen to see someone inside their house. Like, that happens all the time to me. So I guess I should stop doing that, and probably after this video I'll probably stop doing that. So anyways, I have the suggestion on the screen here, and I will start this video now. My first Dr. No Sleep video in 4 years. 4+ years.
The hallway was like a million other hallways in a million other houses, but I knew somehow that what awaited me on the other side of the bedroom door was unique in a truly horrible way. My vision narrowed, and my heart slammed around inside my chest as I reached for the knob with my left hand. I still had my spraying equipment on, and my right hand still held the hose handle. I opened the door and stepped inside.
Is he an exterminator or something? Like hose, like as if he's about to like, that's obviously not a, I don't know.
I had to see a child in the bed, the covers pulled up to his chin. It was the same child I'd seen yesterday from outside the window.
What?
Of this I had no doubt. He was a Hispanic boy, with carefully cut black hair and delicate features. His head was turned slightly away from me on the pillow, his eyes closed. There was something wrong with him, something about his body. Hello?
He doesn't have a body, it's just his head. But I'm so confused, like there was no lead up to this, like there's nothing.
Voice barely above a whisper.
It's 23 minutes too.
The boy made no move. I reached down with my left hand. I had to see what the covers were hiding. I had to see what was wrong with his body. With a shaking hand,
there is no body.
I threw the covers off, and the sight that greeted me filled me to the brim with terror. I pulled up in front of the house while still in mid-argument with my ex-wife. I don't care what you do in your spare time, I said, talking into the Bluetooth headset. Just don't do that stuff around Jaden. As she started to answer me, probably to insist that she hadn't done any cocaine while Jaden was with her,
Okay.
which was a blatant lie, I cut her off. I'm at work, I said. We'll talk about this later. I hung up before she could say anything else. Lacey had been struggling with addiction for several years. In fact, it was one of the main reasons we'd gotten divorced. I'd tried all I could to get her help, but you can only do so much for someone who doesn't think they need help.
That's true.
She wasn't as bad off as many other addicts. She held down a job and was a decent mother when she wasn't high as a damn kite. So there wasn't really a ton of evidence I could bring to the judge to give me full custody of Jaden. I didn't really want to take away her visitation rights anyway, but if things kept up as they were, if Jaden continued to tell me about the little parties Mommy had with strange men, then I would have to do something drastic.
Yeah.
I didn't want my son growing up around that kind of behavior.
Yeah, honestly, I feel that. Like, you shouldn't let your son grow up with that either. Like, yeah, that's a good dad right there. I would say that's pretty good.
I got out of the van and went around to the back to get my gear on.
What's your damn job?
I worked for a pest control company
Thank you.
specializing in mosquitoes.
So, okay, so it's mosquitoes. Okay, so you went into the house, scared to open the door because you thought you see like a million mosquitoes or something? Like, I'm so confused. Anyways, okay, I was right that he was like a pest control person, or exterminator, whatever. Isn't exterminator basically the same thing as pest control? I don't even know. I'm so confused. Let me just... I probably sound stupid right now, like I always do. Let's see. Pest control specialist versus exterminator. Maybe it's not even going to come up because it's just totally different. Exterminator. The biggest difference is that pest control look for long-term solutions rather than simply spraying chemicals to kill the pests you see. So they're similar. One basically is fast fix. One's basically a more in-depth fix to frickin', I was gonna say salute. That's not even a word. To have a solution to the problem. That makes more sense.
So what I did all day was drive around and spray insecticides around houses on my route. Some houses opted for the natural option, while others wanted the chemical spray. I suddenly realized I didn't know which option this house was supposed to get. So I pulled out my phone and checked the app. Chemicals. I donned my mask, my latex gloves, and then the equipment that I used to spray around the yards and in mosquito hotspots. The gear was specially designed for spraying insecticides, but it looked similar to a leaf blower, and it sounded like one when in operation. As I walked toward the house, I realized I didn't recognize it. Must be a new customer, I thought. It was a 2-story house.
So I don't get these. Like you don't even need to be home. They just start spraying your house and shit. Like I assume only outside because you obviously can't get access inside the house unless someone's home.
With brick.
I've never heard of this before, where you just have like someone come to your house like every week and just spray certain areas. I've never even heard of that before.
White painted wood. The driveway was on the left, leading toward a closed garage. But I spotted a gate to the backyard on the right side of the house. I walked up and peered over the wooden fence, making sure there were no dogs in the yard.
Okay.
Once satisfied, I went to open the gate, only to find it locked. Great, I muttered. One of the employees back at the office was supposed to call 24 hours ahead to alert the homeowners that we'd be there.
Okay.
This way, the homeowners could make sure the gates were unlocked and that all pets were inside. But even with that heads up, homeowners often forgot to unlock the gates, or they left their dogs outside. Since there were no visible pets, I reached over the gate to feel for the kind of lock they had. I found a small metal bar shoved through the latch, so it couldn't be opened from the outside. I pocketed the metal bar, opened the gate, and stepped inside, seeing that the coast was clear.
Pretty useless for the point of a gate if you can still get in from the outside if it's locked, but
I started up the motor.
Kind of defeats the purpose, but that's okay.
I moved along the fence line, spraying to create a barrier and to eliminate any eggs or larvae. Then I went along the edge of the house. As I passed one of the back windows, I glanced inside, looking through a narrow gap between 2 curtains. There was a kid asleep in a bed, a young boy. I usually made it a point not to look into people's windows, but I hadn't really been paying attention, and I just glanced up. Shrugging, I moved on, hoping I didn't wake the kid up. I finished the backyard, heading back out the way I'd come, making sure to replace the small metal bar that served as the gate lock. Then I did the front yard. Once I was done, I put the equipment back in the van, took my mask off, and then grabbed one of the cardboard door hangers we used to let homeowners know we'd been there. I filled in my name and the time I'd done the spraying before taking it up to the front porch. I noticed the doorbell camera as I put the door hanger on the doorknob. Giving a little wave for the recording, I turned back, got into the van, and headed for my next house. As I was heading back to the office at the end of the day, I got a call from my boss. "Lawler," he said, "I just got a call from Mrs. Reynolds at 2678 Orchid Avenue. She said we missed her today." "Orchid Avenue?" I said, searching my memory. "Was that on my route?" "According to the computer, it was." I suddenly remembered the house where I'd seen the kid sleeping. "Oh man," I said, "I think I did the wrong house. I was on Orchid today, but I must have pulled up one house down." My boss, a good-natured guy named Fred Maynard, laughed. "Someone got free mosquito control today."
Well, at least he wasn't pissed though. At least he wasn't like, "You fucking idiot, you know, like you useless." At least he was like good about it, right? Because some bosses are like, "You fucking idiot," like, you know.
"Yeah, sorry. I was distracted by Lacey. I'll be sure to get 2678 Orchid tomorrow, first thing. Alright, just wanted to check. You on your way back? I'm about 10 minutes out. Good deal. See you soon. I hadn't thought much about that sleeping child all day, but as I hung up with my boss, I started thinking about him. There was only a few inches between the two curtains, so I didn't get a good look at the entire room.
Yeah, why would you even think that's sus though? A kid sleeping in the afternoon, I guess, can be weird, but he's taking a nap, or depends how young he is. Like, obviously, he looks like he's at least 10 or something. I don't really think 10-year-olds nap in the daytime, but I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Like, why would you think that's sus though? Like, it's just a kid sleeping. Like, obviously, I know that he doesn't have a body. It's just his head there. I know that, you know, obviously the beginning hinted that he was beheaded, which is fucked. But like, why would he think anything like weird about it? Like, you don't see that he's beheaded until he obviously went inside. How the hell he gained access to the house is beyond me. But yeah.
But there was something strange about the scene. Something I couldn't quite pinpoint. Thinking about it produced a small knot of anxiety in my stomach. I shook the odd feeling off and concentrated on my driving. I had to return to the van, punch out, and then head to pick Jaden up from my mom's house where he stayed after school on weekdays. By the time I got home with Jaden and started making dinner, it was nothing more than a quickly fading memory from another monotonous day at work. After Jaden got his homework done, we ate dinner, watched a little television, and then I sent him up to get ready for bed.
Is that just his shirt? I assume that's just his shirt design, but at first I was like, is something wrong with him? Is this a cast or something? Like, what is that?
Ready? He called from upstairs. It was the sign that he was ready to get tucked in. I got up from the couch
How
and
was
headed
he?
upstairs with a smile.
They still tuck him
It was
in.
my favorite part of the day. As I stepped into Jaden's room, I saw that the bed was empty. Where the heck is Jaden? I said aloud to the room. There was no answer. I guess I'll have to find him, but when I do, he's gonna be in big trouble. That got a snicker from down the hall. That was our ritual. A quick game of hide and seek before reading and then sleep. I turned and stomped down the hall, roaring
That's
like
so creepy.
Godzilla. I'm gonna get you! Jaden laughed from the linen closet. To make things a little...
I'm assuming he's younger than I thought he was, because I don't think kids, like, older kids would do this,
more
but sure.
interesting, I went past the closet and looked in my bedroom, still thumping around and talking in a low, scratchy voice. Where the heck is he? I said just outside the linen closet door.
So that kind of
Then I ripped
creepy,
it
not
open
gonna lie.
and grabbed my son, tickling him as he shrieked with laughter. I threw him over my shoulder and marched into his room, plopping him down on the bed as his laughter died down. Okay, buddy, I said. What are we
Close your
reading
damn
tonight?"
curtains.
While
Sorry, what do you say?
Okay, buddy, I said. What are we reading tonight?
Oh, bedtime story.
While Jaden was considering the question, I heard a noise from downstairs. The back door had a squeaky hinge that I'd been meaning to oil for a few days now, so there was no doubt in my mind that what I heard was the back door opening.
It's not good.
I turned toward Jaden's bedroom door, pulse skyrocketing. Stay here, I said as I moved out to the hall.
Who is it? What time
Batting
is
to
it?
the top of the stairs, I listened hard for any other sounds that would indicate an intruder in the house. I was hoping Jaden had accidentally left the back door cracked, although I couldn't remember him going outside since we'd been home. I peered down the stairs for several seconds before gathering the courage to move down them. I didn't have a gun in the house, but Jaden did have a baseball bat in the hall closet.
That's good.
At the
Use
bottom
that.
of the stairs, I looked around, seeing no signs of anyone in the house. Then I moved quickly over to the hall closet, opened it, and got the baseball bat out. I moved down the hall, feeling slightly better with the bat held over my shoulder. When I turned into the kitchen, I saw that the back door stood open. Looking around, I saw nothing out of place. And when I stepped through the open back door, I peered into the dark backyard. Everything seemed normal. After shutting and locking the back door, I checked the entire house,
Yes.
making sure no one was inside.
Yes.
When I passed
Excellent.
by Jaden's room,
I like that he's actually checking it, and he's not just like, it's fine. Like, he's doing a thorough check inside, outside, locking the doors, then doing a thorough check inside. Great. Good job.
I found that he was asleep. I had a moment of regret since we never got to the story, but it couldn't have been helped. I had to make sure we were safe.
Exactly.
My son's safety always took priority.
Facts.
I padded back downstairs and moved into the kitchen to make myself a snack before bed. As I leaned the bat against the wall, something caught my eye on the counter. I looked
Oh
closely.
yeah, I was gonna say, what is that? I noticed that right here.
The wall, the kitchen.
I noticed that right here, but I just figured it was some kind of stain on the thing. But that looks like a shoe print. Is someone hiding? Is someone literally like on the fucking ceiling or something, bro? Because all I can think of is that's a shoe print. But there's only one shoe print. There's only not even two. But that's a shoe print. I just figured that was part of this. But now that they pointed it out, I was like, yeah, that's a shoe print.
Myself a snack before bed. As I leaned the bat against the wall, something caught my eye on the counter. I looked closely, seeing a faint smudge of dirt on the countertop, under the cabinets where I kept the dishes. As I bent down to inspect it, I realized it was dirt left by a boot. I know I hadn't put my foot on the counter recently, and the print was much too large to belong to Jaden. I looked at the back door for a long moment, thinking furiously. Why would someone come into my house and step on my counter? I couldn't imagine. It made no sense.
Look up.
I considered calling the police, but I knew there was little they could do.
Yeah.
Nothing was missing. If they caught...
I feel like the quality's kind of shit right now. Let me just... Hopefully my internet's good enough.
Whoever had been in my house, they could charge them with trespassing, but that was about it. And I knew that calling the police over would wake Jaden up. I didn't want to put him through that.
And his curtains are still open.
Enough with the divorce. He was finally getting back to normal. And I didn't want to take that away from him. So I wiped the boot print away with my hand and rechecked all the doors and windows.
Are you looking up or anything? Because I feel like if someone's standing on your... If someone's standing on your thing, I would just look up out of curiosity. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like someone's standing on my thing, so wouldn't you think to look up? Like, if I come into my room and I see, like, a big-ass shoe print on my desk, I would be able to see someone just, like, literally just, like, being a Spider-Man floating above me, but it's, like... I've seen in movies and stuff where people hide on this thing somehow. So I'm just saying, like, look up. You see a shoe print on this spot there shouldn't be a shoe print? You look in the area, like, and it's kind of like... No, we're good. I don't know. Do something, man. Like, come on. It didn't come out of nowhere.
They were all locked. When I went to sleep, I did so with the baseball bat near at hand.
Okay.
And it took a long time for sleep to come. I pulled up to 2678 Orchid just after 11 o'clock the next morning. As I stepped out of the van, I glanced at the next house over, 2676. It was the house.
Was there police tape or something? There was like yellow caution tape or something and like a sticker saying do not come or something? Or?
I'd distractedly sprayed yesterday. And it was where I'd seen the child sleeping on the bed in the back room. But now I wasn't so sure what I'd seen was so innocent. I'd awoken at 6 in the morning with a nagging feeling that something terrible was happening in that house. It had grown from a small knot of anxiety to a swollen tangle of dread. And I could no longer ignore it, no matter how much I wanted to. Something deep inside was trying to tell me that what I'd seen at that house and the boot print in my own house were somehow connected.
Oh.
So instead of getting right to work at 2678,
yeah, like, is that not like a thingy saying don't enter? Like, what is this?
I walked down to 2676 with all my gear on, as though I was getting ready to spray there. But I hadn't turned the motor on yet. I had to get a look in that back window again. I had to see what was really going on in there. I moved to the back gate and reached over, removing the makeshift lock again. Then I walked back, as though inspecting the ground for hot spots, like I did at every other property. I angled toward the back of the house, and as I passed the back window, I glanced up. The curtains were fully closed. I couldn't see inside. After glancing around to make sure I wasn't being observed, I tried to push the window up with my free hand.
So now you're breaking and entering.
It was locked. Panic started to seep into my chest. The more I thought about it, the more convinced I was that what I'd seen was something terrible. Flashes of a child lying on the bed kept coming to mind, but instead of the kid I'd actually seen, it was my son.
Jaden.
It was Jaden lying there, lifeless, something wrong with his body under the sheets. Before I had a chance to think about what I was doing, I was up on the back porch, reaching for the knob on the back door. It turned, and the door opened. I was fairly confident there were no dogs in the house, because they often barked their heads off when they spot an intruder like me through the window. But I stood at the back door, latex-gloved hand on the doorknob, listening. Hello? I called. Hello? Mosquito control. I just...
But isn't this house not even part of the mosquito control? Like, isn't this the house that you went to for the wrong thing? Like, you went to the wrong house, and then they basically told you the correct house, but you said you're gonna go to the next day. So did you do that house yet? Are you still going to that house? Like, what's happening
decided
here?
I would make something up if anyone was home. But after a few moments of answering silence from the house, I stepped inside, shutting the door behind me.
It's not really
There was
breaking out,
nothing
but
amiss about the interior. It was a lived-in, middle-class house. I saw a dining room and attached kitchen directly ahead.
if someone sees you in the house, they could just like legally shoot you too. So it's like you're risking yourself
To
too.
my left was a living room. I went that way, walking past the dark wall-mounted television toward the hallway. The first door off the hallway was closed, and I knew it had to belong to the room I'd glanced into yesterday. The room with the child in it. My vision was narrowed, and my heart slammed around inside my chest as I reached for the knob with my left hand, my right still holding onto the hose handle for my spraying equipment. I opened the door and stepped inside, half expecting to see my son lying there. But it wasn't Jaden in the bed, covers pulled up to his chin. It was the same child I'd seen yesterday, and in the very same position.
That's weird.
He was a Hispanic boy, with carefully cut black hair and delicate features. His head was turned slightly away from me on the pillow, his eyes closed. Now that I was close to him, and looking at him from a different angle, I immediately identified what had been bothering my subconscious. It was the way his body looked under the covers. The lumps were all wrong. Hello, I said, voice barely above a whisper. The boy made no move, with the force of a haymaker.
If he's beheaded, wouldn't you smell something? Like, wouldn't you smell anything? Some kind of like decaying, or like his neck is like it was cut off from his body, so it's like, wouldn't you notice that there's like a dead body or something? You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't you notice like something, anything, like the head being all weird? Like, I don't know what a dead person's head looks like, but I'm assuming it doesn't look normal. So
I realized why. He wasn't breathing. His chest wasn't rising and falling. I have to get out of here, I thought. I have to call the police. But instead of running, I reached down with my left hand. I had to see what the covers were hiding. I had to see what was wrong with his body, what had been done to him. With a shaking hand, I threw the covers off and released a small, fearful cry at what I saw there. The boy wasn't a boy at all. The only thing human there was his head, which had been severed and sewn onto the body of a large, stuffed bear. That was why the bulges under the covers had looked so strange.
I didn't expect that.
They were not caused by the bony limbs of a child, but by the thick and stuffed limbs of a child's play toy. I moved out of the bedroom as fast as my numb legs could take me. My breath came in shallow gasps. As I stepped into the living room, I saw that the television was on, and there was a familiar sight there. I did a double take, freezing as comprehension accosted me. On the television was a wide-angle view of my kitchen. From a
What?
accosted me. On the television was a wide-angle view of my kitchen, from a camera placed on top of my cabinets.
Oh my god.
The boot print, I thought. Back when Lacey had lived in the house with us, before the divorce, she had put some fake plants up on top of the kitchen cabinets to provide the room with some decoration. Although I hadn't put it together yesterday, I knew now that one of those plants was almost directly above where the boot print on the counter had been. The intruder had placed a camera there. As my senses came back to me, I resumed my trek to the back door. But a man stepped around the corner from the kitchen, a pistol in his hand.
Oh fuck. Oh fuck, bro. Oh, I knew it. Fuck.
He looked at me from behind boxy eyeglasses, his pale eyes peering out from under a head of thin blonde hair. He wore khaki shorts over thick, pale legs. He had a salmon pink collared shirt tucked into his shorts, which were fastened with one of those braided belts. And on his feet he wore tan-colored Timberland work boots.
"You're trespassing on private property,"
he said in a nasally voice.
"I'd be within my rights to shoot you here and now."
I stood, vibrating and seemingly stuck to the floor. The man smiled thinly.
"You found my snuggle buddy, Kendrick. Your name is Kendrick, isn't it? That was the name on the piece of cardboard I found on my doorknob yesterday. Your yard has been serviced by Kendrick. Of course. I saw your face on my doorbell camera. And with your name, it wasn't too hard to find out where you live. Your company isn't great about maintaining employee privacy.
I didn't see anything, I said, grasping at straws.
Oh? So you just come into people's houses to look around all the time? Is that what you're leading me to believe?
I had no answer. He already knew everything.
You didn't really know what you saw yesterday, did you? Once I saw that pest control company had been on my property, I went to check on my snuggle buddy and saw that I'd left the curtains open a crack.
He shook his head.
Silly me. But I couldn't be sure if you'd seen anything. I had to know. Which is why I paid you and your son a little visit and left my little camera. It's also why I set this little ruse up, just in case you decided to come back to play detective. And I was right.
Wow.
I can just go, I said. I won't say anything.
So, okay, so he was the house owner. He has his snuggle buddy, which is basically a head. A random head of a little boy, and then a... Okay, that's really fucking weird. You can just have a big fucking teddy bear. You have to have a teddy bear with a human head. Okay, that's... Okay. I'm trying to comprehend all this. So he knew everything. So he knew it was Kendrick. He knew it was the pest control company. I guess he has cameras, so he probably saw the guy peeking in the window, and then maybe thought... And then what? He thought that... He just assumed that he was going to come back and play detective? Like... Why would you assume that? I know he said just in case, but it's like... Fuck, what the hell? Like, I just don't understand. It's so weird. He found the address, and then he... Wait, what? How did he find his address, though? Like, the company is not his address. The company is his, like, work. Like, his home and work address is obviously different, so how did they find out his house address? I'm kind of confused.
The man laughed, the sound grating.
Yeah, right. I'm sure you'd just go on with your life. No, you had your chance. If you'd never come back here, I could have let it go. But you had to come back. You had to see. But it's all the better. My snuggle buddy's head will start to rot soon, and I'll need to replace it. Luckily, I know a beautiful little child who's about to be without a father.
The man raised the gun, finger tightening on the trigger. I spun around to run just as he fired, and felt a thudding impact on my back that knocked my breath away. Stumbling and trying to suck in a breath, I turned back down the hall I'd come from, ducking back into the bedroom with the child's head. I swung my equipment back off, hearing the man's footsteps getting closer. When he turned into the doorway, I threw the heavy pack at him even as he raised the gun. The pack hit the outstretched gun, knocking it out of his hand. He cried out as he stumbled back under the weight of the pack.
So you literally got shot, and then you don't run for the exit. You go back into the little boy's room.
I knew from the way he'd reacted that I'd somehow hurt his hand, but my only thought was of escape. Finally able to pull in a breath, I turned and ran to the window,
Because you were
throwing
shot.
the curtains open and reaching for the lock. I quickly undid the clasp and got the window lifted several inches. But before I could get it open enough for my escape, the man ran up behind me.
Fuck.
I half turned, but I wasn't quick enough to ward off the blow that was coming. The man slammed his elbow into my head, which in turn crashed into the window, cracking the glass. I threw myself back at the man as he wrapped one arm around my neck.
Oh
I
shit.
stumbled and fell onto the bed, both fighting for the upper hand.
Oh my
He
god.
managed to tighten his hold on my neck, choking me. I slammed my right elbow into his chest 3 times before he loosened his grip, enough for me to twist around. As I got to my feet, the man got to his, reaching out and
Shoot him.
grasping my throat with
Oh
his hands.
shit.
He slammed me back into the wall next to the...
I feel like this is such a... Okay. I feel like this is the thing here. So he basically broke into someone's house. The owner could claim that he was just trying to... The owner could claim that he was trying to kill him. So he was doing self-defense trying to kill him. So it's like, I really don't know what's going to happen here. This is such a weird situation.
bed, pinning me there. At first, I tried to get his hands from around my neck, but it proved futile.
Shit.
So I did the only thing I could. I reached out and grasped his neck, strangling him even as he strangled me. I knew that I'd already lost a few precious seconds. I was certain I would lose consciousness before he would. As my vision narrowed to small, blurred circles, I looked
Shit.
down and saw what the man had called his snuggle buddy, and a desperate idea came to mind. I let go of the man's neck with my right hand, reaching down towards the child's head. I was just able to touch the dead boy's nose with my fingers, but I couldn't reach any further. The man had me pinned to the wall, and I was getting weaker by the moment. The pillow, I thought, dropping my hand down and managing to grab the edge of the pillow.
Wouldn't he would see you grabbing the pillow though.
I dragged the pillow closer to me, getting the head within reach. I had only seconds of consciousness left. If this didn't work, I'd be dead. I grabbed the dead boy's head in my right hand, lifting it, stuffed bare body and all. It didn't weigh more than 10 pounds altogether, and I managed to grip it around the top of the skull like a smooth stone. With one desperate movement, I slammed the boy's face into the side of the man's head. His grip loosened, and he turned his head to see what he'd been hit with. All his attention had thus far been on my face. I hit him again, this time slamming him in the face. Blood spewed from his nose as the boy's face collapsed. He let go of me, stepping back in a daze. The stitching had come loose from the violent movement, and the bare body hung from only a few remaining stitches. I turned the head and smashed the man in the face with it again. This time, the bare body fell away, and I was left holding a child's damaged head. The man fell to the floor, his face a bloody mess. I fell on top of him, gripping the boy's skull in both hands, and I brought it down on the man's face again and again and again. By the time I was done, neither head was recognizable as such. The man took his last wet breath through his ruined face as I sat against the wall nearby, breathing heavily. It was a kind of poetic justice, I thought. The man had killed the boy, and in a way, the boy had killed the man. I didn't want to know how many others the man had killed. I doubted this was his first. But as I pulled out my phone to call the police, a sense of calm settled on me. I thought of Jaden as I dialed 911, and I had no qualms about what I'd done. After all, protecting my family took priority over all else. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe.
You're not going to tell me what happened? You're not going to tell me if you got arrested for basically killing somebody, or... Oh my god. So basically the moral of the story is don't look through someone's windows because there might be a dead boy's head in there. I feel like that's kind of unrealistic though. Like, it doesn't say it's a true story or anything, but I feel like this is kind of weird though, because... Okay, so... The guy killed a kid, sewed the kid's head onto a teddy bear, made it his cuddle buddy, and then literally just put it there. Like, how the fuck would you even cuddle with that? Like, besides the murder and everything, it's just like, what the fuck? Like, why would you want to even sleep with a dead kid's body? Or, sorry, a dead kid's head. Any head. Like, a little kid? Like, can you... Oh my god, that's so depressing. Like, fuck. Like, he literally decapitated a child, sewn the head onto... Oh my god, that's so fucking bad. Oh my god. I had mixed feelings about him, like, killing... I had really mixed feelings about him, like, using the kid's head to beat him up, like... Because the man killed the kid, then in a way, like he said, the kid killed the man, which is kind of a weird way to look at it. I didn't look at it like that. I was just like, oh my god, the poor kid. He's obviously dead already, and obviously he's headless, but it's like... Where's the rest of his body? That's my question. Like, what the fuck? Oh my god. Like, wouldn't you not smell that, bro? Like, it's a dead head, or a dead body with a decapitated head. Like, aren't you gonna smell something out of the ordinary? Like, anything? Something? This whole story was fucked up. I don't even know what you guys... Obviously, I see why you guys want me to watch this now, but that was so fucked up. Like, what the fuck did I just watch? This dude should have been more than 1 million subscribers. He's truly a gem hidden. A hidden gem, sorry. And nothing like being sick and falling asleep to Dr. No Sleep. Dr. No Sleep is severely underrated. That was severely awesome. The man had killed the boy, and in a way the boy had killed the man too brutally. Beautifully poetic justice. I love you, Dr. No Sleep. Okay, well, that's nice. It was like watching a thriller because I didn't know who was going to win. Subscribe for life. It's so weird using the boy's head like that. I would have used the alarm clock. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, it's really weird to use the boy's head like that, because it's like... Wouldn't you feel something? Like, anything? Some kind of guilt? Like, he's already dead, but it's like, I don't know. That's lame. Don't care. Don't care. Skulls are harder. I said the same thing. And just seeing, like, the injured head, too. It was like, what the fuck? Like, oh my god, like, the injured heads. Like, oh my god. Like, the man literally killed a man with a boy. Like, a man killed a man with a boy's head. That's so fucked. That's... Imagine telling a story like that. Yeah, I killed somebody once with a little boy's decapitated head. Yeah, it was fun. What the fuck? he had a chemical spray. He had a chemical spray pack. He could have sprayed the main with it. I didn't think about that. He could have just done that. That's very true. Yeah, he had the chemicals. He could have just sprayed it in his face too. I don't know why he had to use the kid's head. Like, that's good for the protagonist thinking of that cleverly grotesque idea at the last sec, but his fight or flight instincts suck. He had so many chances to get the upper hand and knock out the psycho, but he kept running for the window. Great story, dude. Dr. No Sleep is on a different level. I still like Mr. Nightmare better, but obviously this guy is animated, which is great. I remember when all these animation stories came out, but this guy right here can express a horrifying story I've always sucked in. Animated story about the evil adopted boy. It was so good. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. I wasn't on the edge of my seat. Like, I wasn't terrified. Like, it's not like Mr. Nightmare or like other animated horror stories where you're kind of like, where it's like really quiet, it's dark, and then there's a fucking jump scare or some shit, right? It's nothing like that, but it's like, it was scary, obviously more so in the end, because I was like, oh fuck, like obviously the first like 15 minutes was just kind of a regular story, you know, him seeing something, he was kind of sus about it, came home, chased his kid playing hide and go seek and things like, you know, it was just pretty basic story. It was more of a lead up, like the story could have been told in 5 minutes, but instead he had the whole 15-minute backstory. Not even a backstory, just basically he could have just said, oh, I went to work and I found this, and it could have been 5 minutes. I'm not complaining, I'm just saying this video could have been 5 minutes long. So that's what I mean. Basically, the horror part was like 5 minutes, and then the actual build up and lead up to it was like 15, right? So it's like, that wasn't scary though. Anyway, still a pretty good video. If all Dr. No Sleep videos are this long, I don't mind, but I do prefer some that are shorter. Only because like I felt like it was a bit extended, like the one video I watched about, I don't know what it was, but it was like a McDonald's horror story that was 20 minutes. I didn't like that one either because I feel like it was just so built up and it was just so unnecessarily long, for example, right? It's like Damian trying to make a video super long when it's just like, oh yeah, don't bully someone. You could do that in 5 minutes, but then he makes a 35-minute video out of it. Why? I get it, it's longer, it's a better, you know, video, it's more entertaining to watch, I guess, but like, I don't know. I'm not complaining about the length of the video, it's just like I feel like it could have been shorter, and I feel like it could have been the exact same thing, right? It could have been the exact same thing, just make it 10 minutes max. Then we're good. Like 5 minutes lead up, and then 5 minutes the horror part, and that's it. It could have been 10 minutes, but I have no idea. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think the 23-minute video was good enough, or should it have been shorter, longer? What do you guys think? Let me know what you guys thought of the video. I just thought it was like really unrealistic how you're literally killing a man with a boy's head that was decapitated. Like, that's just so fucked. What the hell? Like, and then holding the head just like this with the whole teddy bear you said was like 10 pounds. Like, that's so weird. Like, fuck. Oh my god, that's just so gruesome too. It's just like, what the fuck is happening? Like, anyways, guys, that's the end of this video. If you guys enjoyed it, be sure to give it a like, comment down below. Be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications for more videos like this and other videos. And thanks for the suggestion. I think it was like GC, her name is GC someone. So thanks for the suggestion. I'll see you guys in the next video. Be sure to subscribe to Dr. No Sleep. I did as well. Turn on notifications. I didn't do that yet. And I'll see you guys later. Deuces. Peace.